Well, hello, my beautiful Gemini. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of August, right through the end of September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, I've just brought back the competition for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, but I'll let you know how to win that a little bit later on because some people are here just for the reading and I don't like to waste anyone's time. So let's get straight to it. Okay, my beautiful Gemini, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile is the unified energy of how things come together. Also, it's worth noting to look up online what it means to be in a twin flame connection, because if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That's more likely to be a false flame connection, and that will drain you of your beautiful love and waste your wonderful time. Now, I don't know if you noticed with the guide chimes, they were very kind of passionate. There was this rush of energy there, and then suddenly, stop. Silence. So perhaps some of you have been dealing with that with your person because the guide chimes pick up on energy, and that was a very unique way it kind of chimed and then suddenly stopped after a flurry of activity there. But let's get straight to your cards. Twin flames, you know, they are magnetic. When you meet your twin, it is an otherworldly experience. The bond is so intense, it's almost obsessive. You can't stop thinking about anything else, really. And your twin feels the same. I want you to be aware of that. Now, there tends to be a runner, a chaser, and a separation period in a twin flame dynamic. That's not always the case, but it tends to be typical to form. And whilst the twin flame journey at the very beginning is very intense physically, mentally, spiritually, it's actually more of a spiritual awakening rather than a physically romantic relationship. It's a process that prepares you and your twin to release low vibrational frequencies that keep us stuck in fear, addictive patterns, or unhealthy attachments. It's a very intense inner vibrational transformation, but it is a personal journey of discovery, and it is one that must be done alone. Now, the twin flame dynamic serves a purpose because your twin is there to trigger you, and of course, you are there to trigger them to discover your true life's purpose and mission, as well as embrace unconditional love, and of course, heal aspects of self. Now, it's a formed sacred union, which is basically the result of shared difficulty and pain. And I don't know if you heard the thunder in the background there. You know, I sat down to do your reading and literally, of course, it was clouded over. And as soon as I started to meditate on your energy, it started to rain. And now that I've started to do your reading, there is thunder and lightning. Okay, so very turbulent energy. Now, this doesn't mean that you're always arguing. It can mean that you're feeling a lot of turmoil over this connection. But, you know, lightning and thunder tends to be higher frequencies clearing the air to have like a rude awakening or a sudden transformation. So this could be symbolic as well. Sometimes, you know, the energy will shift and it can indicate that there is change in the dynamic. So if you hear lots of rumbles in the background, or if the light kind of flashes there's a little bit of a storm brewing. It's not something that was forecast either, but these days you need to look outside in order to see what the weather's really doing. But basically, back to the twin flame dynamic, their presence is to amplify any areas that you need to heal. Because twin flames, they tend to have had a very challenging journey, often struggle or trauma before they even meet each other. May have even had heartbreak before you meet each other. And then when you meet each other, both of you amplify those fears or insecurities or anything that has been left unhealed so that you can process. The twin flame journey is very exposing, so you can't hide from yourself, your authentic self, and your twin. There tends to be, as I said, a runner, a chaser, and a separation period. The twin who is the chaser is willing to be vulnerable and open and surrender to the union. But of course, the twin who is the runner, it's a mirrored experience, the twin flame dynamic. So your twin will look at you and they will see all the things within themselves that they've been running away from their whole life. Okay, so it's not personal. It feels personal because, of course, your twin will push away. They will put the brakes on in the union because they're denying their feelings and they do not want to face aspects of self because it basically is overwhelming. Now, of course, both parties feel very similar. You are identical in frequencies, and basically you share the frequency at the core of you, and that means both of you are connected by an unspoken bond. You can feel it. There's familiarity there. There's an intensity like no other. But I always describe twins like magnets, both identical in frequencies. The polarities want to be together. So there's that push and pull. When you have two magnets identical in the energy fields, they want to attract each other, but also they repel each other. There is a space in between. And that space serves a purpose to highlight that there is something invisible, as it were, that is not readily seen, that needs to be really dug a little bit deeper to find the process of why there is something as a blockage in the union. So when one of the magnets changes the frequency, then of course the magnets try to come a little bit closer because the frequencies are being changed. And the only way to change your specific frequency, so if you think of yourself as a magnet and your person is a magnet, we're all energy fields, it can be that, you draw your person ever closer. And that only comes from focusing on your true life's mission and purpose, putting all that care, love, devotion, thought, energy inwards and onto your purpose path. Because if you think about the magnets, they want to be together, okay? But if you keep reaching out to your person and thinking about them, which is easier said than done, to try and not think about them, of course, because there is such a strong bond and pull, and both parties feel the same. So even though you're separate from your person and your person's the runner, for example, they're still thinking about you. I was the runner when I first met my twin. And I cannot even describe how intense it was, but I kept thinking about my person. I wanted to be with them, but I was a very hurt person, so I couldn't. I couldn't reach out. I was so riddled with fear because of previous experiences that had left me a shell of a person. Humans, very complex dynamics. I'm not here to take anyone's side. I'm here to understand both sides so I can understand an outcome for you. But I just want to highlight that your twin still thinks about you and is obsessively drawn to you to the point where they cannot even fathom why you keep being on their mind. So they do start to think a little bit deeper. And that's why they keep coming back in some way in order to work out what's going on here. It's not a game, it's an energetic exchange. So if this magnet, keeps thinking about their person, it perpetuates the cycle because the frequencies are not changing or shifting. They're remaining the same. So as soon as this magnet decides to elevate spiritually, but also focus on your sense of purpose and unconditional love for self, that's when this magnet changes frequency and actually it steps back a little bit. So as soon as you step back, your person will step forward and is given a moment to step up or step out. Never wait for your twin because their twin journey will take them on a path back to self, because that's what this twin flame journey is all about. But it could take years, months, decades. So I always say do not wait for your twin because they have a purpose path of their own to follow, and some twins are quicker than others at rediscovering themselves or being more authentic in their truth about how they feel and having an ego death, because that's basically what it is. Now, that's a lot to take in, of course, but it's a bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin. Let's get to your energy. We've got the child here. Now, this is symbolic of a new beginning. This is your protagonist energy, my beautiful Gemini. And it's an energy here of like, it had so much potential, this relationship. I mean, the Hierophant, you thought about marrying this person. You feel like you knew this person before. There is a lot of like over-analysis going on in this connection as well, and a lot of revelation. Now, also, the Devil card is present in your energy, so this could be a very addictive relationship, obsessive energy there for you, and you may feel stuck in a rut with all of this because it feels so uncertain. You've tried really hard to detach or walk away, but this person's always on your mind. I mean, you love this person. You wanted to settle down with this person. You wanted this person in your life forever. You thought about marriage perhaps with this person, or at least settling down and, you know, moving in together. Some of you may have actually moved in with your person, and it was fun up until a point, because the child energy can indicate that you could be yourself. It was a very playful energy, but it's number 13. Something changed. That's the Death card energy. So this can indicate there was a major transformation, a sudden change in this connection, when, you know, it's almost like the fun got sucked out of the relationship. Suddenly things got like super serious in a way that perhaps you were not imagining it would go. And, you know, there may be a little bit of an age gap with this person, but that didn't matter. I want you to be aware of that. If some of you are questioning age in this connection, because they've got an owl's energy, this is how they see you. They see you as someone who's very wise. You know, they see you as someone who's had a lot of experience in life, in a way where, you know, they look at you like you had your life together, okay? But the child energy, there's this energy of age coming out. And I want you to be aware that this is something that was not a factor. This person didn't actually think about age, is what I'm seeing there. The moon, this person has a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity, but also a lot of uncertainty. Like they were feeling lost when they first met you. And because they saw you as someone who had a very intense otherworldly bond between each other, I feel there's this pull, but they were like drifting in life. It's like they were lost and you were an anchor, or you were someone almost like a lighthouse in their storm, as it were. And for some of you, not all of you, but some of you may have children as well. So this could be that you're giving your time and attention to guiding the next generation. But if you're wondering if you do have a child, for example, with this person, or if you have children, if it was a factor in the kind of like separation of this connection, it did not have any bearing on the relationship. I want you to be aware of that. The main energy in this connection is that this person, they felt like they had to be more mature for the relationship, which of course, you know, there is responsibility and accountability that goes with any relationship. And I felt this person, there is an energy of feeling like they were lost in life. They may have had certain goals they wanted to get to, but they felt like they were drifting, and they felt they couldn't offer you something if they didn't know what they wanted themselves. That's something that I'm picking up very strongly in this particular twin flame dynamic. May not resonate with everyone, but I have to honor the energy that comes out and what my guides are giving me at this time. But, you know, there is an energy of you wanting a new start. Now, we do have the Devil card and the Hierophant. So this can indicate that you've invested in this connection. So you're unsure as to whether you should, you know, kind of learn more about the twin flame dynamic and continue to invest in this. But the Devil card is indicating that you're feeling stuck, that there is some sort of toxic repeat or toxic cycle that you feel bound by at this moment in time, and you're learning not to enable it. So you're trying to step away. I feel like you want a new start. You are someone who wants a long-term relationship where there's reciprocity. I feel like you're not going to ever forget your twin, but right now I feel like you've been put in a position where you feel the only way to change this dynamic, because of course it is number 13 there, is that you have to change, and you are like a new person. I feel like you, at the core of you, have changed in a way where you are taking ownership of your life and wanting to either seek new opportunities in love. I mean, you don't really want to at the core of you because the Hierophant is there. But you feel like you've had no other choice. You've been put in this position because life, you don't want it to pass you by. So I feel if you haven't started talking to someone new right now, I feel like you want to, okay, or you feel you ought to, because the Hierophant is an energy of like, what should you do? What is the right thing to do? What is it that you should kind of like adhere to as your life philosophy right now? And of course, my beautiful Gemini, you should not wait. Time waits for no person. So I feel like you've given this person the time to step up, but they have not found their way there. They have the moon energy. So I feel a lot of you are aware that this person's still questioning, soul searching. They're going through their shadow self. And that's something that had to be triggered in this connection, because there must be an ego death in order for both parties to come together in a union. Now, of course, we do have the Devil card here. So you are feeling very stuck in this. You've done everything that you can do in this. You've had faith that this person will return to you. I mean, in the future, we got the Lovers card. So you will see this person again. I feel like you will reunite again. And actually, this person will give you answers. I want you to be aware of the cards that you got as well, because there's so many moon references in your reading. Okay, see the moon card here actually has all the kind of phases of the moon. This person could be very changeable at times. They're very inconsistent. They are someone who is a little bit wishy-washy. They're out of balance and they need to come into alignment. And I feel this person, when they connect to you next, they're going to tell you that they're learning about something. This could be that they're going back to college, or they're going on a course of learning. This person is actually, and they may even kind of come clean to you about it as well. If you have social media, this person has been very silent, but they've been scoping you out on your social media. They've not been saying anything. This person, they're afraid of loss. They're afraid of losing you. So in order to, and I know that sounds counterproductive to the relationship, but in order to protect their ego from you ever leaving them, they decided to remove themselves, because this person has loved and lost before and it really hurt them, is what I'm being given. And, you know, they're really silent at this moment in time. You don't need me to tell you that, because they've got the High Priestess withdrawn. You know, they're doing a lot of questioning. They're also doing a lot of reprogramming. So something from their past has either taught them to wait and like observe and not really get involved, as it were, or they feel really hesitant. They want to give themselves over. This person, at the core of them, they're actually a very romantic person, and they have the ability to be really open and loving and kind and all of those things, but they're afraid. These are cards of fear. You know, the High Priestess is a card of caution, but also enlightenment. So it feels like this person is in between worlds, as it were. They know what they want to do, but they're feeling like lost and soul searching. And I feel like they've not talked about something as well that has been an impact in their life. And it's made them feel kind of like, it's almost like a breakdown within themselves is what I'm being given here. And I feel like to some degree you're aware of this. The Devil card energy, there may even be addictions here or addictive personalities. And, you know, it's like latching onto one thing because it feels intense and exciting one minute, and then it starts to unravel, and then you latch onto something else. So it could be that this person, there's an energy of being led by their community or led by their friends, or there's influences in their friendship groups, and they're like going with, you know, the trend at the time. That rarely comes out in my readings, but that's something that's coming out here. But the Devil card highlights you're feeling stuck. You know, you feel that you need to have more discipline. You feel bonded to this person and almost obsessive, but you may be questioning right now whether there is manipulation, okay? And I mean, looking at their energy, I don't feel like they're manipulating anything. I feel there is an energy of outside influences in this connection. So this could be like family traditions, okay? For some of you, it could be a belief system. So you may be from different religions, for example. My readings are not really about religions, but we have two very religious cards here, the Hierophant and the High Priestess. So this can indicate, for some of you, not all of you, there may be a factor there. It could be someone's belief system about marriage, and it could be that from the very foundation of your person, they've witnessed something. Now, both of you, it's a mirrored experience, so you may have very similar experiences up until the point where you met each other. It's like you're living parallel lives, because that is what happens with a twin flame dynamic. But the Hierophant, you're in a period of learning. You're very philosophical about this connection right now. You're having a lot of revelations, but I feel like you want the truth. You just want the real answers so that you can kind of make peace with this. I feel there is this energy, and I'm going to pull a card on it with the Devil card, because the Devil card can be a card of kind of not just obsessive energy. It's like you feel there is a constraint, like your person is holding back, and you feel truly helpless to change the situation. So the only way to do that, to control the situation as it were, is to have a new start, to end it. Two of Swords, we've got a stalemate position. You know, this is an energy of feeling at a crossroads in your life, withdrawing, taking a break. You've removed yourself from this because you can't do this anymore. You're fed up. There's an energy here of like you wanting to find answers, but the perfect answer actually is within yourself. And a very hard thing to acknowledge sometimes is having to give oneself closure. Sometimes we can ask another person, why have you stepped back? What's going on there? And they can give us all the answers they think we want to hear. But sometimes if a person has not really done the spiritual work or delved a little bit deeper, they've remained on the surface, then they may not be able to give you the real reason because they haven't kind of discovered it themselves. We can only meet each other as deeply as we have met ourselves. And because you have the Hierophant, I feel like you've been a person who questions a lot in your life. You're someone who actually experiences the highs and lows of life. You're here to experience, my beautiful Gemini. That's why you have a duality about you. You know, there's always like the angel and the devil kind of sitting on the shoulder. And I'm not talking about like a real devil, for example. I feel like you see the alternative sides of life. So you try to understand people from different perspectives is what I'm trying to highlight there. So you see the good and the bad in a person. You don't judge. You kind of try to understand. You seek to understand beyond what is readily viewable, as it were. So you want to understand beneath the surface of a person. And this person right now, I feel like they're afraid to show you really, truly beyond the surface because there's something that this person is keeping. I don't want to say it's a secret because I just feel it's something very private to them because the High Priestess is very private. The Owl is like, sees everything, witnesses, says nothing. You know, that's the implication with the Owl here. And the Moon is like, they've witnessed something in the shadows when they were younger or in their life regarding love. And they just don't speak about it because they feel like they don't need to go to that space. But I feel like you're the sort of person, if you've experienced that, you go to that space in order to process, and this person's been avoiding that for a very long time. So we have that Two of Swords where basically you are trying to protect your inner peace right now. I feel like you are not wanting to rush forward with this. It is at stalemate. You're feeling uncertain, but right now you're considering your options when it comes to this twin flame dynamic. I mean, you would like a head-to-head, you would like the answers, but right now I feel like sometimes we go round and round in circles when we're trying to get answers, and I feel like you're making peace with the fact that sometimes you'll never know. You have to make a decision right now for your life. And as I said, do not wait for your twin because, of course, you could be waiting a lifetime for some twins. Not everybody takes the journey of life and love with each other because they cannot get over the stuff that's in between. But you and your person with the Lover's card here, there will be a moment where you actually identify that you need to talk or you have to be back in each other's energy, because the Lover's card is a choice card, but it's an acknowledgement that both of you have feelings for each other. And we have that Three of Wands energy, which means you're looking like on the horizon, like what else or where could this go? This is a card of you wanting to expand on opportunities, saying, okay, I can't wait forever. Three of Wands always has a person standing on the shore, with two wands behind them, like you've tried many times to make this work. And you feel like the time is now for you to look at the alternative, to look at kind of like going into uncharted territory, to seek other experiences because you're fed up of waiting there. Three of Wands also is an energy of the healer card. So it can be that there is a pause whilst really looking at the waters. I mean, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there is a figure standing on the banks of the waters, and the water is golden. So this is the golden opportunity, the pause on purpose in a twin flame connection for processing, to go through cathartically things that have been left unhealed, so that, you know, you can take the journey. There's ships on that water. So it's like, you know, it'll be a process, but you and your person can find your way back towards each other, but you must not wait. The time is now. So I feel this is about you aligning yourself with your heart's desire at this time, focusing on your abundance, you know, also kind of maybe even wanting to travel, get involved in your community, or be with your friends, for example. For some of you, you haven't even decided to talk anymore with your friends. You've kind of like stayed a little bit silent on this because you feel like you're just going round and round in circles on this, and you're trying to understand, but you're just fed up. Okay. Now your person's energy, we have the Owls. It's number 12, Hangman energy. Hangman is the pause. It is also someone who is feeling like they're in limbo. Their life has somehow turned upside down, and they're holding back, or they're trying to release any restrictions that have been holding them back in life. It's a time for inaction with this person, so they are in the rite of passage of the twin flame dynamic. Now, I don't make the rules of the twin flame dynamic. You know, I wish there wasn't like this kind of separation period, this pause. I wish that, you know, people could articulate from a healthy space how they're truly feeling, but we all know that that's not human behavior sometimes. Sometimes it is, when a person really knows themselves and is confident in expressing themselves. But I feel like your person is confident in many areas, but when it comes to feelings, they really go silent, okay? Because those are the cards that I have in this reading, and of course, that's the energy that's coming through here. But the wise old owl, it watches, it learns. So I feel like this person is observing your behavior in this connection, and they realize that you are a person who's always been there for them, but it's not like a test for this person. I feel like this person sacrificed this union, because the Hangman energy is a sacrifice, okay? It is to surrender to the union, but there's fear. So it's like they want to sacrifice, you know, their fears in order to surrender to the union, but the moon is so present, and it's still present in the outcome energy. The moon is all about the hidden. It is the things below the surface. It is about, you know, hidden insecurities. It's about trust issues. It's an energy of almost like romanticism as well. It's like the idea of love and what it should be. And if it doesn't go the way that they think it should go, suddenly they feel like, oh, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. There's a perfectionism with this person as well, deep in the core of them. And they feel like they're never enough, or they don't hit the right mark of what they perceive love to be, as it were. This person has experienced deception. So I feel like this person may have been cheated on in their past. They're very private about this. They are very silent. It's like there's a person in their energetic sphere that it's like they call them the person who should not be named. Okay, so that's coming out there very strongly with this person. So I feel this is a person who really hurt them in the past. It doesn't have to be an ex either. It can be someone from their childhood. It's like someone they do not speak about. They try to erase this person's memory or this person's presence in their mind because they just don't want to go there, okay? I actually feel like this person, your person, grew up quite quickly. They had something occur where they had to be very responsible from a very young age, and it's a period where this person doesn't like to talk about it. So this may be something you're aware of as well. King of Wands, interesting, even with a different deck, we got the King of Wands here as well. This person wants to take action despite their fears. This person, when you have a King of Wands energy, this is someone who is having a spiritual influence right now. So they're rediscovering themselves, their life philosophy. They are in a period of trying to kind of like understand things from a different viewpoint because they have number 12. And it's like they don't just want the physical aspects. The physical aspects of a commitment, because wands are all about passion, desire, and this person has all of those things for you because this is how they're feeling about you. You know, there's this energy of like wondering, was it lust, was it love? But there's something that keeps calling this person back to you, and it feels very much like they want to take action, and they will step up in some way to reach out, because this is a person who is going to do something. You're withdrawing in your energy, perhaps even seeking new experiences, or even having a new lifestyle. Something in you is hitting different right now, my beautiful Gemini, and I feel like you're not allowing this person to come back in the same energy. You've changed the frequencies, and it actually has influenced their frequency. So you've influenced, been that catalyst for change in the connection, because this person, you know, these two cards are your outcome. I just wanted to see actually who was the King of Wands. So when I got to this pile, I would have pulled a card to see which card was relevant. Was it you or was it them? And it's them. They are going to reach out to you again. You haven't heard the last of this person, but looking at the energy, you want answers. The key is an energy of destiny, but it's also a revelation card. And you have a card here which is like seeking revelation. You want the truth. You want to understand this from a different viewpoint, but you're not giving to this anymore because it's exhausting. And, you know, I feel even your person with the moon energy, they're drained with all of this fear, and I feel this disruptive energy within them. And it's interesting because suddenly the sun is coming out when I'm touching the High Priestess energy. This is a card where they are reprogramming. They're learning from their past. There's something that's been passed down from this person, or they witnessed from a very young age, that has got in the way of this connection. It's triggered every like fear or trauma response in this person, because when someone gets too close to them or in deep, they're gone. And I'm hearing a song right now as well, very famous song, and it has come up in readings before, maybe even like last year or a couple of years ago. It's by the Spinners. I had to look it up because I didn't know it at the time. I knew the song, but I didn't know who sang it originally there. But I'm hearing, I'll be working my way back to you, babe, with a burning love inside. I mean, the fire of, you know, the King of Wands, that's burning right there. So this person, I feel like there is a burning desire to return to you, but I feel this person is changing. They are becoming more aware of those fears with the moon energy. I mean, these are two major arcana cards as well in a deck full with minor and major. So this person is having a major revelation period. I feel this person is kind of like trying to be more open to allow you in, because I'm getting this energy of like the doors starting to open, like they want to let you in on something. So when you hear from this person next, they're going to give you a piece of information, or even, as I said, I don't want to call it a secret because it's not something that they're harboring from people. It's something that they just don't want to think about. It doesn't come up, but it is something that shaped who they are. Okay. It's very private to them. So they're not like harboring a secret romance, or they're not like married to someone else. For some of you, not all of you, there is an energy coming through. It's very minor, okay? It's like 3% energy. Some of you may have actually fallen for your twin who has married a karmic, and this is before you kind of met them, okay? What I'm seeing here is that this person, they're going through a very challenging period in this connection, and you may actually hear from them that there is separation, but you know, you should never influence it. If your person, when you met them, was married to a karmic, then the process will occur as it's meant to. You'll be in the right place at the right time to be with your twin, should that be the blockage. But the person, the main energy I'm picking up on right now is someone who's running away from a part of themselves that they only really thought about telling you, but then they got so close to telling you, but then they got like fearful and was like, nope, actually not going to do it. Because I'm getting this energy here where whatever it is, it causes a lot of depressive energy, low vibe. So that's why they kind of don't want to go there, because they feel like it requires a lot of strength and energy to really look at it, process it, get over it in order to remove it from their karmic baggage, as it were. So I'm just going to highlight that and move away from anyone who has connected to their twin and they were already married, okay, because the majority energy is not that. Okay, I want you to be aware of that, but it did pop up there briefly. Now, the moon, of course, there's still fear. There is still this energy of wanting to overcome something. We've got number 32. When you reduce it, 3 plus 2, of course, is 5. That's the Hierophant energy. So it's like faith carrying them through fear, but at the same time, the fear is still present. So I would say 5s, they tend to be conflict. Whenever someone reinforces their faith, it tends to be a period where they're going through a conflict. So I feel like this person is doing that right now. Okay, and we have the key there, which is 33. Numbers do matter, because when you reduce that, 3 plus 3 is 6, which is the Lover's card, and you actually got the Lover's card here. This person is trying to align or come back into balance. And we have the infinity sign. It's also number 8 there as well. This is a period where both parties need to learn more about themselves and have revelations within self. There has to be a separation period in a twin flame dynamic. That is the rite of passage. So I feel both of you are working your way back towards yourselves at first before you work your way back to each other. However, the cards with the Lover's card highlights to me that you will be face to face with this person again, or you're going to have some sort of interaction with your person. Your person's going to influence that because they are taking action. And I feel this person is going to reveal to you why they stepped away from the union, what's been going on with them, and they're going to talk about their past as well. And I feel for some of you, there is this energy that your person may even consult, a counselor or get some sort of therapy there, is what I'm seeing, because it feels like an older or more mature energy reveals to your person something that had lain buried for a very long time, something that they refused to go to for a while. Okay, but we have that King of Wands energy. This is all about action. It's about passion, but also it is a person. So I have shuffled the cards, and of course the King of Wands was coming out for your person. So it tells me that your person is actually going to take action in this connection. Where they felt they were not ready, they're going to have courage. This is a leader card. So I feel like this person is trying to step up and move through the uncertainty. They're aware the uncertainty will always be there, but they have to do something, and you had to do something. And your part of this twin flame dynamic was to withdraw, to learn more about self, because you have the Hierophant there, which is a learning card. Both of you are in a period of knowledge and learning, but the Devil card also can trigger fears. So I feel there is a bit of a stalemate here where both of you are experiencing very similar feelings, but for different reasons. Okay, so I feel this is about finding faith within. It's also about looking at the system of the twin flame dynamic, because there tends to be a bit of a structure that people experience, and it's finding your way home to self in order to find your way home to each other, if that makes sense. So will you hear from your person? The answer is yes. I feel like you still have a ways to go though, because your person still has the moon in their energy, which means that they're going through the shadow self. I mean, I don't feel like you will repeat a cycle though. So this could be a monumental moment in your twin flame journey, as it were. So I want you to be aware of that. Your person is coming into alignment. It is a slow process. And of course, I don't see you waiting. But when your person reaches out, you will be given an opportunity to either step up into the union or step out of the union. And, when I was kind of like going through a process myself, the universe made sure I bumped into my twin physically in the street, in a city full of millions of people. And these were areas that we did not frequent. I was like, how is it that I'm now face to face with this person? I cannot understand. So the universe was trying to bring us back together to say, look, are you ready? Are you ready? Or can you reach the next stage? Because each time will trigger different aspects, or we'll actually see if you're triggering each other. If you're not, then of course you're going to stick around. You're going to explore it further, and you're going to go deeper with each other. But if there is something still left that has not been healed, it will continue the trigger process, if that makes sense. Now, this deck is a wonderful deck. Any conversations that have been left unsaid or anything that needs to be validated that came out in the reading, it says life has been hard and we paid the price. As I said, I feel like your person sacrificed this union because of something that was a struggle within them, but also something that shaped them from their past. Now, if you're dealing with a hurt person or someone who has had trauma, very challenging, never easy, of course, and you offered unconditional love. You know, I feel like you knew that you'd met your person and that they were someone very special for you. But people who've had trauma in their life, it's something that really shapes not just who they are, but their responses. It changes the nervous system, literally, you know, puts a person into fight or flight mode, into like hypervigilance. So it can cost them a lot to express themselves because of what they've experienced in their past. And I'm not here to give anyone an excuse or a way out. I feel like you kind of understand that from your own point of view, my beautiful Gemini. But, you know, you had a decision point, and you took that decision point where you managed to overcome through learning. Maybe some of you have even thought about healing through, you know, going to a counselor. Remember, a healer is often not a person you go to for healing. A healer is a person who you go to that triggers the healing process within you. So if you go to a counselor, for example, or a psychotherapist or any type of therapist, they ask leading questions to probe, you know, for you to discover within yourself what it is that is the trigger, or what it is that has shaped you, that is holding you back, so that you can look at it, so you can heal it. So, you know, when the twin flame process is occurring, both of you are doing the triggering in order to promote the healing process. And finally, we have, I believe in a future for us. I feel like your person really does. And they may communicate this to you far in the future. But at first, they're going to tell you that they're seeking some sort of counseling or healing. They're learning about themselves. They may even be taking like a course in learning like a trade or something at this time, and they may talk about that as well. But they're trying to come back into balance is what I see. A person who has been going through an inner battle, trying to like fight the fear or fight the insecurities or trust issues or even codependency. And I feel like they are coming into alignment to give answers. I feel like that's not what they're imagining that they're doing, but I feel that they are kind of like thinking about how you make them feel. Because you can like forget many events in your life, but you never really forget how a person makes you feel. And I feel that's what this person is doing right now, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or rune. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Now, I close my eyes when I pick the trinkets, and of course you can't see my eyes, so you do have to trust me on that. But this is literally a heart that is burning. There's a flame at the top there. There is a barbed wire across the heart, which is very protective. And when someone erects like a barbed wire around the heart, it means that they've really been hurt before. There's a scar on their heart, or they've been marked when it comes to emotions. So it can be that both sides are hurt for different reasons. And, you know, the passion, the intensity, and the magnetism can draw you back together, but you must not ignore what the wound has been. There is a wound in your person, and they've refused to look at this for a long time. But I feel like in order to maintain connection with you and to find their way back to you, they do have that burning love. Interesting that that's what that song literally says, okay? I feel like this person is going to try and override these things, but they needed a catalyst, you stepping back, because when we reach out constantly, we enable certain cycles of repeat. And I feel with that owl energy, this person is seeking a truth wiser, you know, from a person who's wiser than themselves, as it were. So a counselor. And I feel like they tried to find that in you at first, but you got in too deep. You got too close. And then they thought maybe you would judge them, or there's something to do with that as well there. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates in this reading for you, my beautiful Gemini. You have not heard the last from this person. But also, if you'd like to be with a chance to win a free personal reading from me, all you have to do is put an emoji in the comments box below of a candle, okay? And if you don't have access to a candle emoji, then just write the word candle. And of course, my guides will bring me to a person to win that reading. I'll announce the winner at the end of September there. Now, I feel the world, of course, it needs more light at this moment in time. So imagine a ball of light as well if you can, but if you can't, of course, just put the candle in the comments box below. And, you know, as an aside, again, you don't have to do this part, but raising frequencies in the world at this moment in time, because the world is shifting, we can all see it, we can feel it. Playing your favorite song, really allowing the vibes to, you know, encompass you, as it were, so that you vibe higher and really feel that positive beat, whatever it is that you like gravitate towards as your favorite song. It can only help. And if everyone raised their vibrations, of course, then the world, in my view, would change and be a little bit more positive, because we're all frequency, we're all energy. So, of course, it's worth a shot, right? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. Thank you so much, my beautiful Gemini, and love and light.